A lot of people think it's funny, like, oh, you're gonna fight Canelo, like you're saying you're gonna beat Canelo, like you're out of your mind, you lost to Tommy Fury in a split decision, how are you gonna beat Canelo?
What if Jake Paul is actually serious about fighting and beating Canelo Alvarez? It sounds crazy, but Jake's not just talking, he's predicting a victory in a few years. Could it happen, or is this just another hype job?
Jake Paul wasn't Jake Paul if he wasn't this YouTube guy. He was just a boxer. And you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever. Knock him out with one punch like that. Like, oh man, have you seen this Jake Paul dude coming up? He's fucking for real. Because nothing about watching him fight, to me, screams like he's in over his head. Nothing. He looks like a real boxer.
Jake Paul, for all the criticism he gets, has been on a mission to prove that he's more than just a YouTuber with a boxing license. Over the past few years, he's fought and knocked out notable names from the MMA world, like Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren, which has earned him both fans and critics.
If Jake Paul wasn't Jake Paul, if he wasn't this YouTube guy, he was just a boxer. And you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever. I don't think that power carries quite as much with those bigger guys. It's a little bit of a step. It's a step up, you know, like that. There's very few guys that keep that power as they keep going up and up and up in weight.
Where does the spectacle go from here? What's the next name? Like, who does he fight that can outdo Tyson? Because
he wants Canelo.
He's
calling out Canelo. He also called out.
That's who he's calling out.
He also called out Conor McGregor
in an MMA fight.
In MMA, where he is like 2.5 times bigger than
but
Conor
I don't
McGregor.
I don't think that will necessarily outdo Tyson. Might have been it. Like, this was a great spectacle,
Dude,
but
Canelo, because he would actually get beaten that one.
Yeah.
It is several shades beyond infuriating to see you guys set up a Jake Paul Canelo match that makes me want to fight all of you.
But here's where things get interesting. Jake Paul has been adamant that his ultimate goal is to face Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, is a living legend in boxing. With a career that spans over 18 years, he's fought and beaten some of the best in the world, from Floyd Mayweather to Gennady Golovkin, and even some of the best light heavyweights in the game. His experience, his technical prowess, and his ability to adjust mid-fight are why so many consider him to be one of the greatest boxers of his generation.
Do you think you could still throw down? Like, if it had to happen? Like, if Jake Paul called you out?
Well, he'd probably fuck me up.
Really?
He's a really good boxer. He's a good boxer.
What if it was kickboxing? He doesn't really know how to kickbox.
When I was a younger man and I had good knees, I could be kickboxing people, but I could barely get through a workout without being in pain now. There's a reality of knees and back.
Do you have a call out in mind? Or are you kind of just going to see where it takes?
No, I mean, I do. It's Canelo. This moment will prove that I'm the face of boxing, the largest attraction. Me versus Canelo at 200 pounds for the cruiserweight championship is the biggest fight, arguably even bigger than me versus Tyson, and it makes so much sense. And, you know, Canelo's on his way out. He's going to want a payday, and I want to show the world that all the shit I've been talking about beating Canelo is actually true, and I'll have the biggest upset in the sport of boxing, and we will fight to really see who is the face. After this event, I'm going to be claiming it. I beat his gate record. I'm beating the ticket sales, all of that stuff. So I'm going to be the new money man.
Jake Paul knows how to create hype, and a fight with Canelo Alvarez could be a massive pay-per-view event. Imagine it on Netflix, millions of viewers, a huge global audience, and a perfect mix of Canelo's boxing fame and Jake's entertainment draw. It could break streaming records and bring boxing to a whole new crowd.
This is very fucking dangerous. Very dangerous.
And there's always somebody coming right behind you. And these guys who've been at the top so long, you're like, all right, let me get somebody that's on my level. Canelo, he's been in the game just as long as me. And all right, let's just do this for this paycheck and then move on.
I think when they get to a certain level and they realize they only have a few fights left, they want the big money fights. And Canelo is obviously the biggest money fight. Even though Boots Ennis is a great fighter, most people don't know who he is yet.
Yeah.
And with Canelo, everybody knows who Canelo is. If you get the Canelo fight, that's red panties night.
If you look at the Tyson-Jake Paul debacle, everybody laughed at the main event, but they were exposed to one of the best women's fights of all time in Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, the rematch. So if there's something in it that can bring exposure to boxing in that regard, it's a slight win for the sport. But I do agree with Rick. I think that it would be great to see the mainstream public really amped up for a pure boxing fight rather than a freak show.
However, many boxing purists, including analysts and even former fighters, believe that this fight is a bad idea for Jake. Max Kellerman, for example, argues that Jake has zero chance against Canelo. He says Canelo is a natural counterpuncher, a legend in the making. Jake Paul, while improving, will get demolished. It's clear that Jake is trying to prove something bigger than just a fight.
You said that you'd like to go up against Canelo Alvarez. What gives you the right to call out a 59-2 boxer, one of the greatest of all time, when you've not yet proven yourself?
I'm predicting what's going to happen three more years from now.
So I'm
going to get to his skill level and beat him. I have one of the greatest self-belief systems in the world, and I know what I'm capable of. And with this new team, I can give Canelo a serious run for his money.
Would you ever do like exhibitions like that, or like people like Jake Paul call you out, or these like other big stars? Like, is that business-wise like even worth it?
When I'm done with boxing, why not? Maybe I'll do it. I think it's
like when you're done like competing at the highest level, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's good because what happened there is other people who never watch boxing, or they don't know anything about boxing, they want to watch Jake Paul because he's coming from he bring fans from other world, right? Yeah. That's good because everybody enjoy it.
Would you ever entertain that idea when you're done?
Maybe.
It's about silencing the doubters, proving that he belongs in the world of boxing, and showing that even the most unlikely contender can rise to the top. So is this fight likely to happen?
He's a beast.
He's a beast.
He's a beast.
Like I'm talking more about Jake. I want to see a UFC fight.
You want to see a UFC fight with Jake?
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to fight for the UFC.
Well, no,
he's
or
got a
MMA fight. MMA fight.
He'll
I'm
do
so
an
sorry.
MMA. He's got a contract with the PFL, which is another organization. They're throwing a lot of money around. They just signed Francis Ngannou, and Jake has a contract with them. So if he has an MMA fight, I think it has to be over there.
It's hard to say. Canelo is focused on bigger challenges in the near future, and many experts believe Jake still has a long way to go before he's ready to face a champion of Canelo's caliber. But in a world where spectacle often trumps reality, this fight could become a reality. That's it for today.
Jake Paul, I mean, as of right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he? And Floyd, there are many people who believe you're the most talented fighter ever. Period. So whatever you say to this question, I think is important. Are you impressed? Does he have boxing ability, or is he just an entertainer who has a lot of fans and can promote a fight and has fought lesser opponents, or is he actually talented?
As long as he continues to fight MMA guys and YouTubers, he's gonna continue to look good and shine. But once he fights a real fighter, a real fighter that can really fight, it's not gonna be that good.
Does he have the ability, with what you've seen, to continue to mold himself into somebody who can actually? He told me before his goal is to fight Canelo, so that's where his mindset's at.
It get fucked up by Canelo. Oh, I'm sorry, it's TMT.
You can curse. You can curse.
I apologize, but
no apologize about it.
There's no way he get demolished. But for what he's doing, as long as they keep getting YouTubers and keep putting them in there with MMA guys.
What do you think? Can Jake Paul really challenge Canelo, or is this just hype? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more boxing news.